What's going on, everyone? It's Chads here again, coming at you with the new guide. Today I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know about using a cannon, and more importantly, how to get balls. Cannons are a very convenient tool for many different combat situations. They are especially helpful to speed up your Slayer experience, but the downside is that as an ultimate, we are limited to what we can keep, and holding on to extra items can be a disaster. Fortunately, we can work around these restrictions. To use the Dwarf Cannon, you're going to need to complete the Dwarf Cannon quest. This is a very early quest, so you likely already have this completed. After that, for a hefty cost of 800k, you can buy all 4 components of the Dwarf Cannon from Nilodion, located south of the Ice Mountain. And don't worry about the 4 spots that the cannon is currently occupying. There's a mechanic that not a lot of people know about that we can use to our advantage. When a cannon is placed, it sits on the ground for 30 minutes before it needs to be repaired. If it's not repaired, then it will eventually just despawn. But don't worry, you did not just waste 800k, your cannon is safe. Remember the NPC that we bought the cannon from earlier? He will return your cannon back to you for free. So, there you go. That's already 4 spots freed up. And those cannonballs you've been hanging on to, well, due to a recent sailing update, UIMs can now store cannonballs in the ship. You don't even need a high sailing level, just the first raft you unlock will even work. The cargo storage on any ship can now hold an infinite amount of cannonballs, so whenever you need to get the cannon out for your next task, you can hop onto your boat and grab out your stack of cannonballs. Next up, I need to show you a few great ways to source your cannonballs. With the addition of sailing, we now have a ton of accessibility for this. The quickest method for obtaining cannonballs would be using noted steel bars and smelting them yourself. You can get these from a variety of sources, however, I would recommend using these for mahogany homes first if you still need to train your construction. If you do happen to have noted steel bars that you wish to use, then any furnace near a bank will do the trick. However, if you don't have any noted steel bars, then I have a few methods for you. For starters, you'll need a cannonball mold, which can be bought from the same NPC as before. Next, you'll need at least 67 sailing so that you have access to Deepfin Point. On Deepfin Point, there is an ore shop that is conveniently right next to the furnace. You can buy 8 iron and 16 coal, then smelt them in the furnace and turn those into bars. And once you're done smelting the bars, you can turn those into cannonballs. You'll need to hop worlds after each inventory because the shop is very slow to restock. But this method is very solid if you don't have any noted steel bars and you need some cannonballs. For this next option, it is going to require 87 sailing, completion of the giant dwarf quest, and access to fairy rings. It is also highly recommended to have at least 60 smithing for the blast furnace entry, the Varak medium diary for the Grand Exchange teleport, and ice gloves to help speed up the blast furnace. You'll also need teleports to Varak and a teleport that's close to a fairy ring. To start this method, teleport to the Grand Exchange and run to the northwest corner and take the minecart to Keldagrim. Make sure you've got some cash and your cannonball mold as well. Once you've arrived in Keldagrim, head over to the blast furnace, and if you're not already, make sure to hop to a blast furnace world. Once inside the blast furnace, trade the ore seller NPC and buy out all the coal and place it onto the belt. It's important that you always have coal loaded up, otherwise your iron ore will turn into iron bars rather than steel bars. After you've got enough coal in the blast furnace, buy some iron ore from the same NPC and load that up as well. Once your bars are done, take them off the dispenser and teleport to the nearest fairy ring. And once you're at the fairy ring, use the code DLP, which will take you to Grimstone. This furnace is unique because it actually allows you to smelt cannonballs almost twice as fast when compared to a regular furnace. And when you finish your inventory, just teleport back to the Grand Exchange, rinse and repeat until you've got enough cannonballs. Now, if you really want to speed up this process, then I've got one more trick for you. Jagex recently released a new NPC that will unnote your noted bars for you. But in order to get him to appear at the Grimstone furnace, you physically have to sail him there. It's pretty simple though. Isles initially is located at Port Roberts. You can talk to Isles and tell him to hop aboard your boat. This is where you'll need to navigate from Port Roberts all the way to Grimstone. Side note, you can also just recover your boat at a closer location and he will stay with the boat. After a long sea voyage to Grimstone, you can lead him into the dungeon and he will have a permanent spot there next to the furnace. Now that Isles is permanently in place, we can unnote our metal bars on him for a price of 100 GP per bar. If you've got a hefty stock of noted steel bars, then this is going to be the absolute fastest way to smelt cannonballs. And as a side note, you can only unnote metal bars here. You're allowed to unnote bars that would turn into cannonballs. So you can also smelt any of the other sailing related cannonballs here as well. I also wanted to mention that the double cannon mold from the Giant's Foundry minigame can be used to greatly increase your cannonball production. The downside is that this mold isn't storable and requires 2,000 points to buy. But earning 2,000 points doesn't take that long. It can usually be done in less than 2 hours. And when you're done using the mold, then you can sell it back for 80% of the points. If you plan on making a ton of cannonballs, then I would highly recommend upgrading to this. With the recent updates making cannons so much more viable for UIMs, there's really no excuse to sleep on these methods anymore. Whether you're going for the AFK route or the fast-paced active grinds, the cannon will completely change how you train. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, and let me know what grind you're going to use the cannon for next. Anyway, that is all. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.